So the law of kindness is something that came to me from, I found it when I was finishing up my last two classes for my degree after my daughter died. And came from Tolstoy's Anna Karenina and the character of Levin, who spoke of the law of kindness as being the only law that transcended religion, transcends race, transcends gender, transcends class, transcends everything. This law of kindness. And he was struggling with the class disparities, with religion, and the law of kindness. If we were to all embrace one law, if we embrace that one law, it would radically change how we structure our societies and how we choose to govern ourselves. The law of kindness does not mean letting people just walk all over you and treat you poorly. But that means maybe you don't feel like you should kill someone because of it. When people are abusive and harmful to us, it is a kindness. It includes being kind to ourselves. So we kindly sever ties with that person and we take care of ourselves by not having them in our life. This doesn't mean you have to condemn them. It just means that person, I'm not safe with that person, right? So that's that nuance there. That doesn't mean you have to love everyone, but being kind to people is even a kindness in recognizing someone is not aware of how much damage they cause to others, and that maybe the kindness is telling them. Maybe the kindness is saying, hey, I want to give you a chance to be in my life, but when you do these things, it is very harmful, right? It's a kindness to care about someone enough to tell them the things that they're doing that are harmful to you. It gives people the opportunity to reflect and to make changes if necessary. The law of kindness applies to ourselves too, right? So, and it applies to others. When we approach others in general, that with a kindness, that transcends into all of the ways that we vote, right? If there's a law that is going to harm others, yeah, we want to vote against that, right? We want to vote for things that uplift caring for others. So, but if we just, following the law of kindness and being kind to ourselves does not mean only thinking of ourselves. It means we know how to be kind to ourselves when we need to, and to be compassionate with ourselves, even when we find a flaw and something that we want to change or improve. That kindness to give ourselves room, that compassion, that we understand we are the way we are because of all of our experiences and the support we did or did not receive through those experiences. Kindness comes through in the way we treat ourselves, the way we treat the people in our immediate life, the way we treat the people we interact with throughout our day, at work, or just moving through our day, at the store, at the post office. And it is how we treat others in the way that we choose to vote, what we choose to support in how we govern ourselves, and whether or not that is kind, offers kindness to others. If someone is rooted in a belief system that is the opposite of kindness, well, they might believe that they're being kind, but their kindness includes hate for others, or like harming or choosing things that hurt others. That's not kindness. So we have many examples of this just rampant right now with people who like to call themselves good Christians, but they are everything but. And I can't go too far down that path because I'll just go on a rant. So for those who are telling themselves that they're good and kind, but they are just hateful to certain groups of people because of race, gender, sexual orientation, any of these things, that point it out to them, call them out on it. That is not following the footsteps of Christ. That is not being a good Christian. Encourage them to be more of a Jimmy Carter kind of Christian and push them to be a better person, right? So there are a whole lot of people who wrap themselves in the cloak of religion to make themselves feel like they're a good person. And there are many religious groups that have caused enormous harm to so many people throughout time. So just notice what you're wrapping yourself in. And if your kindness is really about elevating and being kind to others, or if it's just specific groups of people. And challenge yourself. Push yourself into like places with like the people you have a hard time being kind to. Why? Unpack that and look at ways that like try and understand how they might have become the person they are, even if it's a harmful person. And just consider what would be a kindness to that person. And that's a tough one. So if you really want to challenge your compassion, like really work with those who you struggle most with. But call out the bullshitters, the people who call themselves good people, but they really are promoting hatred. So call them out and do everything you can to elevate kindness in the world. That is a superpower that we have, not a weakness. So if you live by any one law, live by that one and try and infuse your voting, your behavior, your words, your actions, your deeds. Align them with that. And remember, sometimes a kindness to yourself means having a boundary with another person. And that's okay, because there are people just moving through the world causing lots of harm. And sometimes the best kindness we can give is to kind of contain that and to keep it like at bay. But if we lifted up all the things that would help those people and followed that law of kindness on the way we structure our world, our societies, our economies, our institutions, everything, if we elevated that law, everything, things would be much better. And that's one way you can work to reduce suffering in the world. Just keep living by that law and trying to infuse everything, every facet of society with it.